Hello, my name's Emma Varnum. I'm a crochet blogger and author, and I thought I'd have a quick conversation with you about my latest blanket design, which is called Happy Heart Blanket, and it's here. It's a huge monster. It's a large blanket, but I used this design to work through some of my crochet scraps, my yarn stash, and I've done quite a few designs with Starcraft, and this uses Starcraft Special DK, which is a British yarn producer, and this blanket, which is available as a PDF and download, I just thought I'd have a quick conversation with you about it. So, for the first time, I have translated my pattern design from UK terms, and in the same download you can get UK and US crochet terms. Now, if you're not aware, crochet has the US uses different terms to British terms. In some ways, perhaps the US is more sensible because it actually has a single crochet. We don't use the word single crochet. A single crochet for us is double crochet. But that being said, this pattern is my first that I've actually made available to two versions. So the large blanket has a sort of brick design. Can you see how these hearts are sort of offset on top of each other? And you manage to get almost a square from all the different rows by putting an oblong on the side of a row that has 6 hearts, and then the next row down has 7 hearts. And you get to offset that by creating an oblong motif as well. So I really like it, and hopefully you will like it too. It uses all the different colours. Now, whilst I've used all these colours, which I got in my stash, don't feel that you have to. I also created a version of the pattern which is a sort of baby blanket. This uses, I've used Yarn Smiths, which is produced by Wool Warehouse. I've used their Merino DK. It's, the merino is really soft. It would really work for a baby blanket. It's slightly denser in its colour, kind of saturation, and instead of using the offset brick pattern, it uses 3 by 3, so 9 squares. You don't have to use the oblong to create that brick effect, and you can just create like a mini rainbow of colours. I think it also would be really cute if you had lots of reds or pinks to create 9 different pinky shades or 9 different greeny shades, your favourite colour, or just one colour. And then on this pattern, the original has a very plain edge. I wanted the hearts to just sing out. But this pattern has got a really deep, generous linen stitch border. The reason for that is that you can buy a ball of each colour. I used a 50-gram ball, and then it works out really quite well. You feel like it's quite an economical use. So then adding your colours in a rainbow pattern using the linen stitch. So it uses up quite a lot of the yarn. I think this is really special. It would be a great first time blanket for a baby. It's really speaking of love and care. So I think it's fun. I would love to do this. Probably not straight away because it's quite by crocheting 2 blankets, quite a mammoth task. But I think it would be really nice to see with a grey background or a dark blue background as well, just to change the kind of tonal choices and to give that kind of different colour contrast. So I really like a cream rather than the white, it's sort of softer, but I would be quite interested to see it with a blue or a dark green background and then let the other colours sing. So it would be fun to see. It's a much larger heart. So I thought I would just show you the different motifs as I've made them. It's just the heart as it is. You create the heart using a granny square, but midway through around you change the colours. Now, I prefer to cut and then cut each colour, and then I will sew in all the ends. I think technically if you were talking about knitting, you call that technique intarsia. And I prefer to do that. I'm happy to sew in ends, and that's what I've done. It gives a slightly neater, cleaner look to the motif. And then I've also created the oblong, so that's the oblong. It uses the granny square technique, but in an oblong. And in the pattern, I'll just show you the pattern. Get the front page, which has got the yarn, what it looks like. Lots of sort of, there's the written version of the square, the heart square there, and a written version of the oblong as well. But I know that lots of you really like to work off schematics. So I've included that for the heart, and I've included it for the oblong as well, so you can see. I've shown you in the pattern how I change colours. So that gives a bit of detail on how you can change the colours. And there's the colour kind of recipe and the yarns I've used for the original blanket. Please don't feel that you have to follow this. But I have given it if you wanted an exact version. You've got all the 45 colours there that I've used, and you could colour match them, and also the 9 colours, and I suppose it's 10 colours for the small baby blanket. So that's the pattern. It gives you quite a lot of instructions there. So there's lots there. Start with the smaller one to get, if you like, and you can see I've done a sort of zip join with this blanket, and then with the Happy Heart blanket I joined it through, put both right sides together and then joined through the outer loop. It really works well as a way of joining with a really clean line. So you allow the colours of the heart to really sing. So what I'm going to do now is change the camera around, and I'm going to show you just a little bit of changing colours and when to change colours, and how you can run the colour you're not using on the inside of your crochet. So I'll show you that as well. The Fair Isle technique of working 2 yarns and working them all the way around your rounds of the granny square. That means you don't have to cut one yarn and then sew it in. It doesn't give as clean a look to the shape of your granny square or the heart, but it is a way, if you really hate sewing ends in, it's a really good option. Anyway, if you've never seen when to change colours, when you're doing a treble stitch, or a double crochet stitch in US terms, just before you do the last yarn over and pull through to finish your stitch, that's when to change your yarn. So I'm just going to start this stitch. So if you're from the US, this is double crochet. If you're in the UK, I'm doing a treble crochet into the space. So yarn over, yarn into the space, yarn over again, pull the loop up, yarn over again and pull it through the first 2 loops on the stitch. You've got 2 loops left, and it's at this point that you add in your colour. Yarn over and pull it through. So you're ready to go for the next treble cluster, which will be in this chain space here. Now, the key thing here is you can run, if you want to carry on using the white, not cut it off, run it along, keep it along the top of the stitches from the row below. Keep it there, and then we're going to do 3 treble or double crochet stitches if it's US terms into that chain space. Okay, and that yarn is captured along the top. It will be seen slightly on the other side, but you can I'll just finish that treble off, 1 space, run it along, and then 3 more treble to finish this heart off. We'll run out of yarn, really. And to change, you then flip over, pull it through, and you've brought it up from where you had the yarn running along the top of the round below. This will work really well if you hate sewing in ends. So I'll just finish that round. So that's one way of doing, it's kind of a Farrell technique, or sometimes it's called jacquard technique. It's a good way of changing colours without cutting in between. It's your preference what you prefer to do. If you really hate doing the whole sewing in, then it's worth using the Farrell technique. All I would say is you will probably use more yarn doing it that way, but if you've got lots of spare yarn, it's a really good option for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you like the pattern. It's certainly, this blanket's in use at home already. I use all my blankets at home. They're brilliant for being outside in the summer. We take them out in the evening. It just extends the evening sitting outside with a blanket over your knee. I love doing that. And also if you're sat or going on a picnic or having a time outside, they're brilliant to use. So use your blankets. I know they're really precious, but when you're a crocheter, it's really great to use them. This one probably in the winter will go on our bed. It's just a joyful thing. Yeah, so it's a fantastic way to just use all the blankets at home. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you so much for visiting. Please do like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment as well. It's been an absolute joy to share this blanket with you.